This will be interesting to share. I can feel that in this moment, there is like a squeezing of something to come out. Like the window has opened and now is the time to be here and express. And in that energy, I can feel like there's an expectation that something has to be delivered here. Something needs to come out. I have a time frame. I have a window. My wife and the girls, they're out at the moment, so now's the time. And I feel like I'm trying to deliver a message. And whenever I feel like this, now I just start to become aware of how I'm feeling. I breathe into it. I stop trying to push through, persevere, and, just grind it out. That isn't to say that I just let go of it and, drop it. It's more so like I'm interested in how I'm feeling. I can feel if there's a rushing, and I just want the emotion to be expressed now. I want to feel however I'm feeling. So as I take a moment, I'm going to take a breath. Not going to run away. Just going to simply allow however I'm feeling now. So let's take a breath. Yeah, I know what it is. I have an intention. I want to share a message, and I'm just putting so much pressure on it of like it being expressed, of it being felt, it being received, and having a response. But when you move through life like that, like I have, you simply restrict yourself to the possibility of whatever is meant to be. At the start of this, I didn't plan on actually going through this, but I feel like I should document how I'm feeling from behind the scenes, because the intention here is to go through 10 paths to peace. So to share 10 different topics that I'll be focusing on with my program in the coming weeks. And as I started to get on the mic, to start the camera up, I originally went out the front here, which was beautiful because that's my favorite tree. I wanted to do it out in nature, and it was just really windy and there's cars going past. I'm like, this is not the time. Okay. So I pack everything up and then I go outside, out the back, where I've been filming the last couple of podcasts. And I sit down and it's windy as. And I really asked myself, like, is this the place now? Is this the time? And it wasn't. Like, it's pretty obvious when you stop and slow down and just ask yourself. So I said, okay, pack it all up, come back in the office. There's no wind in here. And let's just sit down and let's go into this now. And I feel like maybe it's the thought that I have something written down that I would like to share, that I haven't done that sort of thing for a long time. Whereas every single podcast that I've done leading up to that through Mack Being Me has just been an expression of whatever is happening in this moment. So it's now just like dissecting. I'm feeling relaxed. I'm feeling into being here. And it's just inquiring into what's the rush, what's causing the feeling of being rushed anyways. And as you start to become more interested in that, this is my experience anyway, it just has its time and it passes. That feeling, right? That feeling that we're all trying to escape from. And now I find myself here. Which is beautiful because it's almost like you just coach yourself back to the present moment. We're all guiding each other home to now. And it happens how it happens. So in this moment, it's so funny because this was intended to be a video for, for my program. That could be a podcast as well. And it's now like a time capsule of me sitting with how I'm feeling and just coming back to this moment. Of just analyzing myself and realizing that all that is needed is to express what's happening now. So this will be as it needs to be. There's nothing really needed to be said, other than now there's just a lot of love being felt. And I feel it's just as you fully embrace your human beingness, as you fully allow yourself to be human in this life, to know that there's going to be times that are rocky, hard. You're going to feel overwhelmed. You might feel guilty. You might feel lost, alone, exhausted, depressed, anxious, and that's okay. We have it beaten into our minds that whatever we're feeling is not right, or we should be feeling a certain way. But the reality is, as you allow yourself to embrace whatever is happening now, it comes up and then it has its time and it dissipates and it leaves you. So what a beautiful way to live life. I've been so guided, like it just happens. I've been drawn to listening to music again, and I come from a background of playing music, of being in bands, of playing live on stage, of absolutely loving music, especially throughout my teenage life. Music was a way of escaping however I was feeling, and there was no judgment through music. I would always feel myself just letting go through listening, through singing, through the vibrations. And I always say, like, music is the language of the universe. And recently, as of like yesterday, I've been guided into listening to Xavier Rudd. If you've never heard of him, do yourself a favor. You would have heard the song Follow the Sun, which is an absolute banger. So I'm listening to Xavier Rudd as I'm dropping the girls off at school. I drop Ella off first at Kindy 5. She's 5. And then I drop Marley off at Kindy. And then I've got Maya, our 1-year-old, in the back, and she's asleep, and I'm driving, and I'm just listening to Xavier Rudd. And one of the songs come on, I think it's like Storm Boy. One of these songs anyways. And I'm just captivated by the energy inside the music, inside the lyrics, just inside the vessel that is Xavier Rudd. And I'm just hearing the lyrics for the first time, and I'm feeling just such a connection. And I'm now becoming more aware of what that is. Like why I might be feeling that certain way. And it's that goosebumps, it's that vibration. It's like, wow, what is that? That can sometimes only be experienced through listening, through music, or through playing music, through singing. And this particular song, I just had it on repeat. I think Xavier Rudd, and it's what I feel now. It's the resonance of just being a human in this life, and him expressing his human experience. Talking about road tripping, or I think it was like he was going to go out in the ocean. It's too windy, so fuck it all. Let's just be here now. And then just expressing what's happening now. Indie poppers finding a chicken and just like being with his kids, being with his partner. And something just overwhelmingly hit me, and I realize what that is now. It's as you start to feel an honest expression of someone sharing their experience, it triggers that within you. It triggers that within you, and that's one of the greatest gifts you can give this world, is you freely expressing yourself. Because that space that you provide in fully expressing yourself can open up the heart of another. If they are in vibration, if it hits them in that moment when they're experiencing it, they're experiencing the full truth of that moment. And that's what I felt with Xavier Rudd. My heart was opened and I started crying, and I just had to keep driving and have it on repeat. And I'm just like fully feeling the emotion of that moment, of that Xavier Rudd just sharing his story. And it was just hitting me in my heart and my story of my family, feeling like, oh, fuck. Like, this is all we need. We can get so caught up in rushing around, in trying to achieve things. Like I know I have. In the sea of information that's out there of you can do this and this is the way. Oh no, it's like this course, for me launching a course. This is the information you must have. And you can lose yourself. You can dive deep into it. And there's videos, there's podcasts. There's so many different ways of finding the way. But all of that is just feeding the mind, keeping you away from actually expressing your artistic being, and music is such a beautiful expression of your energy, of just experience. That's what I'm feeling, becoming more and more aware of recently. The more you just express yourself, and it is a gift for you to be able to express yourself. Like, subconsciously, a lot of us are just putting on masks. I've noticed it for me, of like putting on a mask, of presenting a certain version to people because I feel like, or I had a thought in that moment of like, this is what they need to hear in this moment. How can I get them to like me? I think that's always coming back to that underlying feeling of inadequacy, of unworthiness, and moving from a place of like, how can I get them to understand me? How can I get people to feel me, to give me the love that I feel like I don't have in this moment? So it comes back to you, because you're searching for something outside of you to validate yourself, to give you a feeling of I'm enough. But you already are. You were enough the moment you came into this world, And I see it with my girls. They are just incredible. little human beings, they just light my life up. And I was having a chat to my man, Get Froth Coffee today at the park about this. So I dropped off Ella at school, and then Marley and Maya and myself, we went down to Robert Thompson Reserve and we got a coffee and we're having a chat. And, my man said that he's just had a little girl recently. And he said, a lot of people say, when you have kids, this is his experience, that, like you lose sleep, you sort of lose yourself. But he said, like, I was lost before, and now this little baby girl's come into my life, like I'm finding myself again. And I feel like that is the most beautiful gift when you tune into what you have now. So for me, that's 3 girls. It's a beautiful wife who's here now, who travelled from another side of the world, the other side of the world, Germany, to be here now, And these 3 incredible little girls who are just finding their way through this life. And it's my role to play that role as their father, as their dad, and yeah, it's a dance. It's an honor. At times it can be so excruciatingly painful, as they're just pushing and probing and prodding against all of the insecurities, all of the thoughts that I think I am, my identity, all of it. I said it to Jaden the other day on a podcast talking about, it's like when you launch your own business, it's very similar to having children in a way that everything's going to come out, whatever's inside of you, all your insecurities, all your, your self judgments, all of the thoughts, they're going to come out because there's nowhere to hide. When you put yourself out there in a business, if you're launching a program or if you're just putting yourself out there on social media, expressing your truth, there's nowhere to hide. It all comes out. And then when you have kids, yeah, all of it is released, which I feel is beautiful because I'm not here anymore to hide, I'm no longer here to present a version, to be a certain role, to fit into society, to do what everyone else does. I'm here to be me. And my girls are beautiful reminders to be yourself because they're just pure presence. And I didn't think I'd be talking about any of this right now. But that's often the way it goes, hey? It's the way it goes. Allow it to be. Allow yourself to be. So, yeah, I feel like that's where we'll end this one. What an interesting time. I'm out here just living, I'm being, and I'm setting that intention to give, to be of service, to share love, to share my full authentic self, and just to document it as a means to, if anyone feels it, it might unlock something within you. Who knows? All that I know is I'm a human being and just loving life and grateful to be here. That's it. That's all I can be, is me. What a gift, hey? 8 billion people in the world. And you are you. You're the only you that ever exists in this whole fucking world. So own that. Be you. All right. Much love. Much love now. Bye-bye.